God once told a man to marry someone who would break his heart, on purpose. This wasn't a mistake, it wasn't a warning, it was a command. And what happened next became one of the most shocking and uncomfortable stories in the Bible. The story found in the Book of Hosea, a story that reveals a kind of love most people don't understand. Stay until the end, because this story doesn't just explain God's love, it leads to the greatest act of love ever shown. This story starts with a command that makes no sense. God tells him to walk straight into heartbreak. Hosea was a prophet chosen to deliver God's message. But instead of just speaking, he was told to live it out. God commanded Hosea to marry a woman named Gomer, a woman who would not stay faithful. This went against everything expected. Marriage was supposed to reflect stability and honor, not pain. Yet Hosea obeyed. He stepped into a future he knew would hurt. This wasn't just a marriage, it was a message being lived in real time. And then it actually happens. The moment he was hoping would never come. At first, things may have seemed normal, but over time, Gomer began to turn away. She chased other lovers. She broke her vows. And it didn't stop. This wasn't a single mistake. It became a pattern. Hosea watched the person he loved slowly choose someone else. The pain didn't come all at once. It came again and again. But this was never just a marriage. It was pointing to something much bigger. God reveals the meaning behind it all. Gomer represents Israel. Just like she ran after others, Israel was turning away from God, chasing things that could never truly satisfy. And Hosea represents God, faithful, steady, committed, even when rejected. This wasn't just a broken relationship, it was a reflection of God's relationship with his people. And this is where everything falls apart. Not all at once, but piece by piece. Gomer's story grows darker. She ends up in a place of deep brokenness, abandoned by the very things she chased. Everything she ran toward failed her. The promises didn't last. The excitement faded. And now she is left with nothing. Hosea is still there, watching it all unfold. This is where chasing the wrong things always leads. And this is the part that doesn't make sense. He doesn't walk away. At this point, most people would. The damage is done. The trust is gone. But God speaks again. And the command is even more shocking. Go back. Love her again. Go find her. The one who was hurt becomes the one who goes after her. Now the meaning becomes impossible to ignore. This story is closer to home than it seems. Because this story is about more than Hosea and Gomer. It's about us. People often turn away from God, chasing things they believe will fulfill them. But those things don't last. And still, God doesn't walk away. He continues to pursue. He continues to love. This is a love that refuses to give up. And this is where it all connects. To a love that goes even further. The story of Hosea points forward to something greater. A love that would go even further. A love that would step into brokenness and pay the price to restore what was lost. Just like Hosea redeemed Gomer, God made a way to bring people back to him, not because they earned it, but because he chose to love them. This is not just a story, it's how God loves. So what is the real message behind this shocking marriage? God's love is not based on perfection, it's not based on performance, and it doesn't disappear when people fail. It keeps reaching, it keeps pursuing, it keeps loving, even when it's rejected. But the story of Hosea doesn't stop there, because this kind of love didn't just stay in a story. It showed up in the most real way possible, at the cross. When people turned away, when they chose everything else, when they rejected him completely, God didn't walk away. He stepped closer. Through Jesus Christ, God took the pain of rejection, the weight of sin, and the cost of redemption on himself. Just like Hosea went after Gomer, God came after us. But this time, the price wasn't silver. It was sacrifice. It was suffering. It was the cross. And in that moment, love didn't just speak. It bled. It endured. It stayed. That's what makes this story so powerful. Not just the betrayal, but the love that was willing to suffer to bring people back. And that kind of love that God continually shows. And that kind of love changes everything.